All right, here we are, Origins 2016, the Calliope Games booth with Chris Leader and his little friend on the top of his head, and we're going to be looking at the Titans series. So the Titans have arrived, at least the first few. So we're going to take a look at those, and the first one up, what do we have for us, Chris?
All right, so this is Running with the Bulls by Paul Peterson of Smash Up and Guillotine. This is a game I describe as strategic plinko. I think of the Price is Right game, but with some strategy built in. That's what this is all about. So this is the Town of El Toro, taking this gorgeous artwork we have by our wonderful artist Mike. What you have is these little dice here are the runners. They are trying to get from this end of the city all the way down to this end where the wonderful attractions and things they're trying to get to, the destinations are. As the runners are moving through the city, they're going to have to navigate these crazy roads that shoot off odds and evens based on the value that's shown on the runner dice. And they're contending with these big red bulls that are chasing them around and trying to stampede them out of existence, I guess, for that day anyway. So every turn, players are going to have a hand of 5 cards. And these cards can have things like, gain a victory point, re-roll a bull, re-roll all runners in one roundabout, re-roll all of your runners in one roundabout. So you'll have a hand of 5 of these. You get to pick one and play it. So let's say I play this one, re-roll all of my runners in one roundabout. Maybe it's this one. I don't like the fact that all these dice are matching a 4 because you don't want to match a bull or else you might get gored. So if I'm the blue player, I can take these dice, roll them, and then boom, 2 of these 3 are safe. This guy might not be so much, but at least a couple of them are better off. So every player plays a card, manipulates the dice in some way, and then everyone moves down. So in this case over here, everyone is even. So they're going to follow the even path and slide down. In this case, there's only one path down, so they go down here. In this case, they go down. Here we go. This one's even. He's going to follow this path. Everybody else is odd. And in this case, they just all move down. Then you check to see, does a bull match any runner? And in this case, green and black both match the bull. They get one chance to re-roll. This guy is out of luck. He has been stampeded. He's out for this round. In this case, we've got lots of 4s. So all of these will re-roll. And only this one still matches. So he is out. Over here, they're all safe. And over here, they're all safe. And then you continue. Everyone plays 1 card to manipulate the dice. You move to the next level, and then you check to see if the bulls are going to stampede. What you're trying to do is get down to the bottom here. Paul Peterson, being very good at creating fun cards, has created some really unique things. There are basic ones like the restaurant that just give you 3 points per runner that arrives here. But you might have something like the festival, which means that every runner here gets a number of points equal to what day you're on. So the days are the rounds, getting from the top to the bottom. So in the first round, 1 point per die, second round, 2 points, and third round, 3 points. Or there might be something like the casino. You get a point per runner there, but then you get to roll a die and add that many points because, heck, you're at the casino. So you play 3 rounds. That's 3 days. That's getting from the top to the bottom 3 times. You'll have a hand of 5 cards. There's 4 places you play it. So there's always 1 card left over. You can pitch it at the end of a day, and then you can get a full 5, or you can keep that 1 and just get 4 to replenish back up. So that's the way the game's going to work. It's crazy. It's madcap. It's chaotic. There's stuff going on all over the place. But it's a great approximation of a strategic plinko game, as I said.
Awesome. And that is running with the Bulls. So the next game that we're looking at in the Titan series is
Hive Mind by Richard Garfield. Richard Garfield is a pretty well-known name from King of Tokyo, and he had a card game. Anyway, Hive Mind is a party game about being, see bees, and thinking alike. So the story of this game is that the queen, this is prototype materials, by the way. The queen has decided that there are too many bees in the hive. The winter's coming, there's not enough food, so she's decided, I know how I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to have to kick out some drones by finding out who's thinking alike, who's thinking like me, and who needs to go. So with this game, you will be asking questions. For example, here's, what are 3 kinds of chocolate? And all of the players will then write down, they'll have 2 minutes to write down 3 kinds of chocolate. But what you're trying to do is, you're trying to think like the other players at the table. So if you know that someone really loves chocolate bars, and they're into Snickers and Twix and whatchamacallit, you might answer that because you know what they're thinking. Somebody else might be thinking, oh, 3 kinds of chocolate. Dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate. So you need to try to think like the other people at the table. Once everyone's written down their answers, you reveal them and you read them off. And you get a point for every answer that you wrote and for every answer that you matched to somebody else. So if 3 people at the table said white chocolate, you'd get 3 points. But if you were the only one who said dark chocolate, you would get 1 point. So the board and the way this works is, at the beginning of a round, the active player will roll the die and they will move the queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what this represents, the number of B's on here, there's 1s, there's 2s, there's 3s. That's how many low answers are going to move down in the hive from the top up here down a level. So if most of the players, like say, had 6 points, 8 points, 12 points, and one person had 3 points, that 3-point person would go down 1 level in the hive. And once you move all the way down to the bottom and you go out the hive, the person who goes out loses and everybody else wins. So in this game, you really want to think like other people because you don't want to get kicked out of the hive. And there are some fun things on here too. You've got the honey pot. If you land on one of these, there's still a bee that's going to go down, but the bee who answers the best and has the highest score for that question is actually going to move up 1 level. And then you get into the mean, nasty ones like the 3s, where 3 different low answers are going to go down. And there's also some catch-up mechanics. So if people were down here and the green player answered the lowest, instead of moving down, you would remove this hive gate.
Okay.
And then you would move on from there.
So you have like a little bit of a
little catch-up mechanic.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
That's good. Definitely a little more for the family friendliness. Keep everybody engaged.
But it's a great game for getting to know people, and it's a great game to play with people that you've known for a long time, because if the question is something like, what are 3 epic movies? If you're playing with strangers, they might say Ben-Hur, 10 Commandments, something like that. Whereas if you're playing with people that you know and you say, what are 3 epic films, and somebody really loves Lord of the Rings, you might know, I'm going to answer Lord of the Rings because this guy loves the Lord of the Rings movies. He calls them the most epic movies ever. So you write that. Then that person might have outthought that and said, well, I don't want to write my favorites. I think I'm going to write Ben-Hur and 10 Commandments. And suddenly, Spartacus, then now they're not matching up. So you're trying to think about the other people, trying to get the most matches that you can. And it's a great game. This one's wonderful. You can play with 3 to 12 players. And if you look at these pieces that are here, these are actually pieces from the Game Crafter, just cylinder pieces. This is a prototype. The final version will actually have bee-shaped meeples, or as we call them, beeples. So they will be beeples in 12 different colors, and if you want to play with a bigger group, you can add any pieces that you have, and you can play with any number of people. We've played this at restaurants, we've played this out in the gaming hallway outside the convention centers, and it attracts a crowd, and people just have a blast playing. And sometimes people just grab some questions and sit down and just ask the questions, they'll put the board aside. But it's a ton of fun, and you get a lot of laughter when you're like, why didn't you answer that question the same way as me? So it's really fun. Great games.
So this is Hive Mind.
Hive Mind.
All right. We have one more to look at, and that will be Menu Masters.
Indeed.
Okay, so the third game in the Titan series is going to be a Menu Masters. So why don't you tell us about that one?
Menu Masters is a game by Zach and Jordan Wiseman. This is a game where players play as chefs competing to build the best menus so that they can have the greatest restaurant. And the only way you can build your menus is by getting the best ingredients. So first thing you're going to do in this game, you're going to pick a color and a chef. And as you can see, we've got some very Ratatouille, Pixar-ish type art for the different chefs. But really, this is your player color. So you pick your color, and you're going to get 4 of these tokens. These are actually prototype. The final ones will look like chef hats, the tall, cylindrical chef hats, and they can stack on top of each other. And what you're trying to do in this game is you're trying to complete 3 menus. And the menus have different assortments of starters, entrees, and desserts. And in order to fulfill these, you're going to be going to the 3 different fresh markets out there, the produce stand, the butcher shop, and the bakery. And you're trying to buy the items that have the highest star value. Those are the best ingredients, because there's no inherent value to a menu. This will be worth the number of stars you get for the different items that you use to complete it. The flow of the game is, on my turn, I take one of my tokens and I place it either on a shop, which means I'm in line for that, or I place it on top of the shop to say I am owning this shop for the round, and any coins spent there are going to be coming into my pocket. So let's say white has started lining up here, yellow owns the shop, maybe the blue player goes, he wants to get in line to buy something too. He's going to put his pawn underneath the white one to show that he's second in line. Now maybe green comes along, gets in line as well. Yellow's very happy because this might mean that they're going to get a lot of money. The thing is, yellow cannot get in line at a shop that they own. They can't get in line, they can't buy anything from here. And then let's say red goes, and red gets in line too. So once every player has placed all 4 of their pawns, you now collect. So in this case, the white player goes first. They can buy one of these items, and the cost of it is going to be equal to the number of pawns that are in the stack at that moment. So in this case, they would have to choose to spend 4 coins to buy something. You begin the game with 6 coins. So this is a pretty tough choice. Do they really want to do this? But maybe their menu had a lobster on there, and the ingredients run from 2 to 4 stars, so they say, you know what, I'm going to do that. They might spend the 4 coins to get this lobster here, and they will pull their pawn off, and they now own this. They would put their coins, their 4 coins that they spent, onto the shop, and yellow is now very happy. Now it goes to the blue player. They would have to spend 3 to get one of these 2 remaining items. And maybe they say, I don't want to do that, that's too much. They would just pull their pawn off. Now green goes, it would cost them 2, and they say, sure, I can do that. They would spend 2 of their coins to get maybe this steak. And then red goes, and they say, oh heck, it's only going to cost me 1. Sure, I'll throw this in here. And they would get the salmon. So now you do that for every single one of these, starting with produce, over to butcher shop, over to bakery. And then once you've done that, if you owned a shop, you get to collect all the coins that were spent there.
How you doing?
If, as the game goes on, someone collects, like in this case, a broccoli and a lobster, on their turn they can declare I'm completing a menu. They put these together with this. This is a 6-star menu. They put these under here, and they put it right next to their player mat to show that that's one of their specials. Once a player completes 3 menus, that triggers the end game. You finish the current round, and then everybody adds up the star values of the items from their menus. Whoever has the most stars is the master chef, I guess you would say. And they are the menu master, and they win the game.
Awesome. So again, these three titles that we took a look at for the people that got in on the Kickstarter.
Yes, they will they'll get their copies first. Right now we're looking at late August or early September delivery to us, and then we will fulfill those as quickly as we can. The survey is going to be coming out very shortly. We're actually working on writing that right now. So we're going to put out the Kickstarter survey very shortly after Origins, and then we're going to deliver these games as soon as we can, and then they'll be on store shelves in retailers in September, late September, after backers have gotten their copies.
Awesome. So a little bit of something for everybody so far in these first 3 Titans. Again, you know, these are coming from the heavy hitters in the industry, these designers. So
Paul Peterson did Bulls, Zach and Jordan Wiseman did this one, and then Richard Garfield did Hive Mind. On deck for next year, we've got Eric Lang, Mike Sellinger, and Seth Johnson. and the ideas that they're coming up with that we're hearing about are fantastic. So stay tuned. The Titan series is just getting started. We have 12 games coming over the course of 4 years, 3 games at a time. Every year there's going to be more games. So we're really excited about these games, and we're really excited about what's coming in the future.
Awesome. So the Titan series from Calliope Games. Thank you, Chris, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.